Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. There we go. Getting things set up so I can see the chat line after the commercials get done. That is. That's what it seems like. The commercials. That's all right. Have to have prosperity to grow. Let's go over to there and open that up too at the same time. Trade and Dukascopy there again. All right. And get that mouse there. Dismiss. You just make sure I can hear myself. Once I hear myself, I'm like, yay. Yep, there we go. I can hear myself. All right. Doc here again. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening again. And let's see what's going on this morning. As you can see up on our screen, we have the dollar Swiss pairs trade on the J4X and over on our Chicago Quant. What can we say about how they're starting the day this morning? Oil's down. Dow Jones Industrial Average is pretty much unchanged. The stock indices themselves. The NASDAQ 100? That also is kind of cruising along, just kind of quiet. I think they're feeling a little bit more pressure because of the interest rate factor there. Let me just take a look at that because I have that one particular thing. Now the Dow's up plus because the news has just came out with the U.S. February personal income, which was up half a percentage point, which was what they were hoping for. So what we're seeing there is the little strength here in the marketplace overall, really. Nothing, in other words, it's the end of the quarter and it's the end of the month, and there is a lot of noise. There's no doubt about that. There is a lot of noise in what they call the Tech 100 throughout Europe and the United States, which is the NASDAQ 100. They have a couple names for this, the NQs, the QQQ, so forth and so on. That's up a little bit today. Also, and the S&P 500 holding a little firm. Oil is dropping because, they're putting out cheap oil into the system, or not cheap oil as much as they're just putting out oil, adding to the system by our petroleum reserves. So that has influence there at the same time. So that's how the markets are starting the last day of the month. They're putting them out with all those things in that direction. All right, now let's take a look at let me just double check the chat line. I see nothing there so far, so that's okay. I didn't miss anybody's question, so because I hate missing questions. All right, start off with, you can see here there's the Swiss. You can see, what's that? I was going to open up something there and I changed my mind. There we go. And you can see on Chicago Quant, you can see it's just up a little bit on the dollar versus the Swiss. We think it, with it going into a daily sell there yesterday, the inflation itself is adjusting the range. You can see we've stepped out of this range and it seems to be adjusted up. We're figuring that somewhere's down here, the blue line might be the bottom of that range now. We'll see as the inflation increases each Federal Reserve meeting, it'll happen. What they're going to do is, there's a good feeling out there that they're not going to wait around. Once Mr. Powell is confirmed by the U.S. Senate, he is going to start pushing harder at 50 percentiles. And they're talking like, maybe 6 or 7 times. So we may see interest rates actually get up to the 3.25 range, which would be really cool. It shows that they're fighting inflation. By the time he's done that, our government policies will start to change. At least we think that's what's going to happen. That's, in my head. And, all the polls show it, that there's going to be a dramatic shift in the government policies here in the United States. More towards a less socialist, communist thing, and more of a capitalist growth thing again, instead of that status quo type thing that goes on like the Obama years where they were like, we couldn't get the GDP past like 2% for 6, 7 years, 8 years, and they called that the new norm. So I think that what we'll see is with this range, and as we go through the charts here on the webinar today, you're going to see that the range has shifted from the inflation. And there's no doubt that the old days of inflation were represented by gold, and we were hoping Bitcoin and so forth of new. But the cryptos did not really carry through on the inflation change. They kind of, they're a whole different asset class altogether, and that's, we've been seeing that being discussed more and more. People are starting to realize they're a different asset class altogether. They're not necessarily, at the moment, they don't represent inflation. They represent a run away from central banks and the Federal Reserve. That's why I laugh when they say things like, China's central bank or United States central bank or European ECB is going to come up with a cryptocurrency. Like, I guess we saw it down in South America. We're seeing it now. There, they need it because, to a great extent, they use the dollar, and their own currency is not that facilitating. Let's call it that way. It's very choppy, and it generates inflation. And they're hoping that the crypto I just had a strange thought. When I was young, they created stock indices. There was no S&P futures, and there was no, I guess the first one was the value line index. But then a couple of months later, the S&P 500, which I always remind people here, Robin, my partner and friend in Chicago, he was the first person to make a trade in the S&P pit. He defined the bid and the offer. They were like looking at each other and said, "Okay, what price should we trade this thing for?" But in the end result is that, as a couple years later, after the index, this will make sense for a lot of crypto people. After the index was created, and we saw it trade for a couple years, 2 years, and then the market went into a bear market. It was like 1983 and a half, 84. The market went into this little bear market, and the stock indices started trading in a negative to the index itself. So in other words, you buy a basket, and normally the arbitrage between a basket and a stock indice would be a premium, and then all of a sudden it went into a negative, and there was no premium. So now we have zero interest rates. It has done the same thing. The stock index trades higher than the contract because it's a discount. But I'm wondering, we see Bitcoin's come down from 70,000 in November of last year down into the 40s. And I'm wondering if we're seeing that inverse relationship again, and we're still trying to figure out the reality of how the product's going to trade. In other words, there was hope that in dire straits, global war, Bitcoin was going to go flying through the roof, So right now, with that logic, we should be seeing Bitcoin trading at like $110,000 or $120,000, or maybe even greater. But we're not. We're seeing it trade in the 40s. It sold off from the 70s. And it may be doing that same inverse relationship. In other words, when you see calamity on some level, it goes discount. That may be it. I don't know. I don't see the logic of it and why it's doing it. But it does remind me when everybody said, "Wow, now when stock indices trade in a discount, maybe that means that it's a bear market. When they trade at a premium, it's a bull market." Well, that something like that might be going on with the cryptos now. And so inflation kicked up, and it was confirmed in November of last year. And sure enough, Bitcoin went flying from 70,000 or 69,000 and change down to like 33 or 34,000. So there might be something of that going on. I kind of not totally convinced by it. I also saw at the same time mining was limited in China. They were doing tons of Bitcoin mining, and it got limited, for the electrical side of it. And the next thing you know, the Bitcoin fell. So I'm not totally convinced that is it, but it's something to think about. That's all. Just suggesting. Just saying. All right, I'm going to take a sip of my tea, as I've taken one already. I'm going to go for a second. There we are. Because it is morning here. And we'll go back to looking at the charts. But I just thought that might be well worth thinking about. Cryptos, premium or discount during inflationary times. Something to think about. All right. From there, we're going to go over to the euro. Let's see, where's it at? Mr. and Mrs. Euro, right there. And you see here, on J4X, it is still lifting. We've had that peak in the volume. The stochastics are moving in the right direction. The battle between the slow stochastic, which is the gold dashed area, and the white is the fast stochastic. And this is a way better tool than MACD. MACD is a lagged indicator. When you do stochastics from the Market Technicians Association point of view, the stochastics is a lagging indicator and the MACD is a leading indicator. But when you put two MACDs competing against each other, a fast and a slow, this is a super leading indicator compared to MACD. All right, over here on J4X, I'm sorry, not J4, Chicago Quant, we're going to take a look at it a little bit closer. In the sense of the math itself is very insightful. You see, we went into the daily buy right here with that little green line put there, but what it really comes down to is this zero line is the dashed line basically in the fast. That's what that is. So when the white pierces it and breaks down, you notice there's weakness. And you see when it pierces it on the upside, there is strength. Same thing here. When it pierces it on the upside, there is strength. Pierces it on the upside, there's strength. It's a little lagging sometimes. This is the J4X, but it's the best public indicator as far as I'm concerned out there. And if anybody can find one that's better, please tell me. We will put it up on the screen and watch it play. What do we got here? Daniel. Hey, Daniel. How you doing? Que pasa? I don't think I don't know Portuguese, so I can't really speak Brazilian that well. But I will do my best to comprehend what you have to say. Remember, the universal language in trading is the symbol of a product. So if you're interested in seeing something, you know what we have? I think we have that EWZ, which is the Brazilian. I wish I spoke Portuguese a little bit so I could talk to you. We do follow that. Hey Luther, how you doing? We do have that ETF. The ETF. And what do I think about GBP? Oh, let's go there. We're heading there now anyway. Wow, there you go. An avalanche. I love it. Everybody's asking questions now. Hello, teacher. Hello, trader. How you doing? Could you please report the name of your indicator? My indicator's name is what is it? It's the two here we use on J4X is the Hinky ASCII bars on a daily. This is a daily chart right here. And that's the Hinky ASCII bars. They emulate my red dots and green dots. The middle one here is the slow stochastic versus the fast stochastic. Slow is the dashed line. The white is the fast line, or the fast stochastic. There are two different stochastics being looked at. So we just throw it up there, and you can see here's the tools of it. There's the fast K, and the fast D is being used on that indicator. Then, on the slow stochastic, you can see here, it is the fast K, and the, let's see, where is it? You see those, and then let me see if I can do the outputs. Is that what it is? There it is. We follow the slow D on that one. That's what we're doing there. We're following the slow D. And then down at the bottom is some research at the moment. We've been looking at volume of late. It's called the Ask Bid Volume. One of the traders in here came up with it, and said, hey, take a look at this, and we were just following that. The bars themselves don't seem to have a lot of correlation, but the volume is interesting. When it peaks, it represents bottoms and tops a lot of time. Notice that? Right there, right there, right there. The peaks seem to represent the major changes. So that's what they are. Let's see now. Did I answer that? Well, now let's go back to Marabout. Marabout? Yeah, Marabout. And let's take a look at the British pound. Here's the British pound. Right there, pound dollar, or better known as cable. You can see here the pressure on that. You can see that the white line had pierced here about 6-7 days ago. And you can see that the pressure built up. And at the same time, we got red, hinky, ASCII bars from it. And down they went. Now you can see it's doing a little bottoming in here today, where the white line is piercing the dashed line. So there's a little strength. At the same time, we have a peak here in the volume, telling us that there's some bottoming going on. Then we go over to our proprietary mathematics, and that is the Chicago Quant Technologies work. And let's put the cable into that right there. And so you can see here, it's piercing the zero line. Our time manifolds are right here. We'll explain those as time goes on. This is the weekly signal down at the bottom, daily there, and then the actual there, and then you can see our red and green, and you can see we are flirting with 2 green dots now, 2 days in a row, and you can see one has a red and a green, telling us that the volatility is here starting yesterday, and now we're starting to see it get through the zero line. Let's do this too. Let's see if we can do this like that. There we go. And we'll tighten it up a little bit. And that is the range we've been following for a couple of years now. And we noticed that the inflation has had an influence in changing the range just a little bit, nothing major. So that's a start to explaining. For anybody, we can explain it again. We have no problem there. I'm just making sure I answered everybody's question, too. Okay, so we talked about cable there. Could you please repeat the name of your indicator? I did that. That's my indicator is the Chicago Quant, is the gas line. The gas line 35 Super, right? Let's see if we can highlight it. See it lit up right there? That's what this is. That's my weekly indicator. My daily indicator, we're just running a gas line 3. These are proprietary math I've been using for about 45 years. And that's what that's all about. And you come into the webinar, we'll explain more and more and more. Hey, JJ, how you doing? Marabout says hello again. How did cable make sense to you, I hope? You like to do a 15-minute chart. Interesting. I see. Now, let's see. Crystal. Hey, Cal, how you doing? Doc, want to see the Euro Swiss. Let's see what the Euro Swiss looks like this morning. We'll throw it up on Chicago Quant. And then we'll throw it up on J4X. Let's see. Where are you? Right. Let me just double check that. There it is. Euro Swiss. There it is on the Chicago Quant. You can see we are still staying with that weekly sell since back here. And it's gone sideways to up. Well, it went down from it. Then it went up. We went into a daily buy. It gave you a warning to protect you so you weren't short out of this right here. Then you went short here, and it was the winner chicken dinner. And then now it threw it into the buy right there again. Let's put that in. Right there 3 days ago. And today it is flirting with a daily sell as we speak. Right there, you can see that. It's trying to break the zero line. Let's widen that out for you. Like that. See that? It's breaking it down. And at the same time, there we go. So to start off with, we follow the week. We want the weekly trend and daily trend when trading the hard delta or the spot or the future. If you're utilizing options and binaries, then you can be a little bit more, say, risque because you have limited risk. But when you're trading the hard delta itself, the spot and all, you have to use both the weekly and daily signal. So when we're in a daily sell like right here and we get into the weekly sell, you can be short for this action right there. And of course it makes money. And then you get a buy signal here, and so it says just a cover. And don't get short, don't get long either. In this case here, it just tells you over and over that the strength is coming in and it goes on for days. We don't take the trade unless you're using options only or options married to a product. Then we go into a sell again, and now it's clean again. We're in a weekly sell for like 3 weeks at that point, and you can get short. And sure enough, it goes down in value. Not a lot, but it does go down in value for about 7 days. And then we get another buy signal, and we know that you don't want to be short anymore, and you can see the strength out of it. It hasn't really done anything great, but now we're flirting with the daily sell. If it closes there today, and we're in a weekly sell, it is a good trade for another downside move. And that's how that works there. All right, that's it, Kelly, for that. Let's see. Pablo says, thanks, teacher. Anytime when the stochastic crosses between, then the price change in direction. Correct. That's right. So when you're looking at what this does, what I did with my mathematics, my mathematical formula, is I incorporated stochastics into it after the fact, okay, to smooth it out. So on J4X here, you can see we show you the raw stochastic and how when using two different stochastics, a fast one against a slow one, it can be incredibly more insightful than, say, moving averages or pivots or MACDs or RSIs. It's way more accurate. Okay, let's see now. From there, Daniel says, for, I'm not sure what that is. Veteran and me, or I'm not sure what that is. Well, if you can find the symbol and put that up, or we can go after it. Now, Marabout. I'm used to trading in 15-minute charts. Okay, any particular product you'd like to see? Figure that out, throw it up on the chart line, and we'll throw it in. Crystal, let's see. Oh, that's Kelly. I miss your euro. Oh, you want to see it? Here, check it out. Here's euro right there. You can see the weekly is still trying to lift up in here. We are still in the daily buy for 3 days. We got that echo of the 5, cleanly through. We would like to see the white close up in there, and at this particular type of action, good chance we see it next week. How's that, Kel? Let's see. From there we go to that was Kelly. Okay. Marabout says thanks. I hope I explained it. Good. And if you find a 15-minute one, tell me what you'd like to see in 15 minutes. We'll throw it up. You'll be able to see how our math works so well in 15 minutes also. No problem, Kelly. No problem at all. And then JJ. Hey, JJ. Doc. Dollar index returned back to 219.20 range. Touched the 3 times 99.50 level in the last 4 weeks. Do you have a vision to share with us? Well, we follow the UUP. Let's put it up on there for you. That's the dollar index on an ETF equity side versus the future side. So let's put that up there. It's right here. Now, I'm not very happy with its action solely because it's not a 24-hour product. And I can see its limits. It has been in a sell since up in here. And we keep on getting these red and greens, and it won't put us into the buy. But today, notice it's putting some buying power into it right there. Now, we've been above the 0 line for 2 days, but without, if there was no dots, we would have been in a buy right here. And next day, they gave us dots again. We're still in a sell. We're still in that sell. But the moment we get no dot and it's blank or a green dot, then it becomes the buy. So we're starting to flirt with a daily buy. Now, we've been in the weekly buy, as you can see, all the way back here since mid-February, down in the 25-ish, 25 and a half area. And this is the dollar index ETF. So it only really reflects like 7 hours of trading during the day. And that's the disappointment there. We don't subscribe to DXY, so I don't really get it. We can take a look at it, though, let's go over and look at it on J4X. Right there. I know they have a DXY in there. There's Bitcoin. Where's it at? Let's see if we can put it in there. DXY. Let's see. I know Dukascopy has DXY. Let's try that one more time. I've seen it in there, the dollar index. And you know, it's well worth looking at. If anybody knows what the symbol is, just shout it out. But I know it's in here somewhere. I've seen it before. Let me just double check on another machine, because I had it labeled on another machine. We got a bunch of computers here. Let's see, where is it at? We're opening up another screen here and we'll find it. Dollar index IDX USD, cool. Backspace IDX. I'm surprised it didn't jump out. It's kind of interesting. /USD. No, that's not it. US /USD. There it is. Thank you very much. Who said that? Thank you, JJ. Let's get to there again. Right there. There we go. Let's see. Dollar index range is a dollar. Okay. It's loading up now. And we can look at it both ways. You can see here on the daily, it's still holding up pretty well. What do they have that at? 17,000. Oh, wait a minute. Is that INDU? That's INDU. That might be the. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see what that is. That is. Oh, that's the Nifty 50 out of India. That's what that is. All right. Let's see if we can find this again. IDX. And I did open up the other machine, so I'm going to find it on that. I know I saw it there before. Small cap 2000. How about that? That looks like the Russell. Okay, I got the other machine opened up now. Let me see if we can find it. I had seen it a while ago. You know, like 6 months ago or something like that. A year ago, but no one asked for it. And then recently, you know, some people are starting to ask for the stock the currency indice. Let me go. Where's it at? Okay, so there's Bitcoin. There's bonds. There's euros, GBX. I know it's on here somewhere. I saw it because I thought, cool, we should use that. Hong Kong. Euro 50. There it is. Dollar index USD. There it is. Okay. We got it. I remember seeing it on there. That's why I knew it was there. And we'll go like that. So, dollar. What happened there? Let's do that again. DO. Because I'm looking at it on the other machine. And what is it? Let's see. So, no, that's Canada. There it is. $.IDX. That's it. We'll get it on there. Hang tight. DOLLAR dot. There it is. Now it'll be on there, so when you ask for it, you shall receive it. All right, there you go. You can see, you know, 3 days of the hinky ash. She's heading south. See the white line there? Who asked for 15 minutes? Was it more about? More about. We'll see what the 15-minute looks like. Right there. You can see there, it broke there, and you can see the weakness on it. You can see it. You can see here it goes above the 0 line. You get your strength. Then you can see it doing its topping out thing, topped out somewhere in here, in indice, and then goes down. I wonder if I can get a dollar index. Let me see if I can load a dollar index into my math instead of the futures contract. If I could do that, that would be really cool. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on a second. That would be very cool. I never really thought about trying to collect up the dollar index itself, not the futures contract, but the dollar index. This thing's really thinking hard. Let's do this. Let's close that at the same time. Minimize that. And there we go. We're starting to freak out. The machine is being pushed a little too hard for some reason. Let's do this. I guess the chat line did it. So I guess I have to refresh this chat line instead. There we go. Because we're having technical difficulties, it seems like. Let's see if we can cancel this. There we go. And let's go find it there. Yeah, we're getting some type of back feed on that. Let's do that. We'll go with that. Minimize that. Let's see. There it goes. Maybe that'll calm it down a little bit. There we are. Okay, now you can see it's highlighted there. Let's do this. Let's close that. What was this? There we go. And minimize that. I'm trying to find a symbol that I could probably get the index on. There we are. Let's try that and close that too at the same time. Because that's definitely putting pressure. Too many charts opened up on the machine. I haven't had this problem in a long time. Guess I have to clean it up. I thought I cleaned it up. All right, we're hunting for the index now. See if we can get it up on our system there. There we go. I can hear the machine being happier. All right, let's see. So it's $.IDX/USD. Let's see if we can put that into my math and see how that looks. There we are. There we are. Get rid of that. And then we open that up. And let's see if we can load in that. Okay, so we're looking at IDX dot. How about if we go with dollar? If we can get that in there, that would be really cool. Because we have people that do ask for this. Dollar index. Let's see what happens when we push that in. Not there. Dollar index. What was it? USD. Let's try that. How about USD? Try one more time and we'll give up on it. And I will go search another time. No, nothing yet. All right, we'll go back and try to find that over the next, after the market's closed, or not the market, the webinar is closed. We'll go back and try to double check that and see what we can find. All right, from there, Let's see. Did we answer everybody's questions on the chat line? I guess. Oh, let's go with JJ now. We got to finish off JJ's train of thought. So let's see what JJ was saying. Let's see. Oh, and Marabout says, I just opened a cable position long with target of 131.80. Where is cable at? Let me just see where the cable is. There's cable. And I think we have a 15-minute chart here. Let's see if we can find it. We have one 15-minute chart we keep parked in here somewhere. Where is it at? There's UUP. Maybe it's in here. There it is. Okay, cancel that. Right here. We have a 15-minute chart parked in there. Let's see if that's it. There it is. We have a Euro 15-minute chart right there. Now let's put the cable in there for you. And at the same time, there we are. So there's that. There's the 15-minute chart. There we go. And you can see here, we went into the sell here. We can just throw some lines in real quick like that up top there. Every time it shifts, we'll make it a white one. This way it's not opinionated. So let's just go like that. And then it goes into a buy. Where is it going to buy? Right here. And then, let's see, it goes into a sell right there. And then it goes back into a buy right there. And it goes back into a sell right there. And then back into a buy right there. And I guess we could put one down here. Like that. There we are. And then it went into a buy right here. Right here. So it went into a buy here. You had that nice run. This is the starting of the midnight, so you can see had a great run from that. Then it went into a nice sell, had a nice run from that. Then it went into a buy here, and 45 minutes, you could have made some money. It pushes it into a sell here, no red dot, but it pushes it into the sell here. And then you can see that it pushes it, may be tough with the dots with the 15-minute. But either way, it goes into a buy here, goes up again the next bar, but still nothing, no explosion. Gives you a volatility signal right here, red and green. Goes into a sell right here. It goes down again. If you sold it on the close here, obviously it made money, but it's a very short-lived trade. And then you get into a buy here again, and that's where you're at there. How's that for a 15-minute? Okay, so that's that. Now JJ again. This is Marabout, but I cannot guarantee it will win. Well, you can see our math can give you a much higher heads up on that. That's for sure. And then JJ finishing off that. You know, in the J4X, it's giving you a general idea of the weakness, but it has a lot of room to go down, doesn't it? 97.70. You know what I mean? That's a long ride. Being 99.5 or 98, 97, I guess it's kind of tight, Let's do this. Oh, that's a 15-minute. Let's go to the daily on that. I'm sorry, that's a 15-minute. So it's much more. It is much more livelier. Where's that mouse at? There it is. So there's the daily. Right there. You can see, it's playing that bottom end of the range on a day-to-day basis. We're towards the bottom end of that range. Let's take a look at it on a weekly basis with the same math. In that case there, they really, I guess 95 is the biggie, 94.5, 95, you know what I mean? In that area there. How's that for a general idea? Let's see. JJ says, Marabout, GBP looks kind of flat. Yeah, on a daily basis, you mean, or on a 15 minute? And 131.80. The first buy of the day was pretty good. It started off in the 131.16 area and ran all the way up to 131.48. I'd imagine there'll be some more action in it, but just stay with your math. Whatever you're following, Marabout, stay with it. Don't get too lost. You know what I mean? What we always used to say on the trading floors: what gets you into a trade gets you out of a trade. So that's the action we're seeing there. What else is there? I guess that's about it. If anybody wants to see anything else, just give a shout out. We'll go after it and look. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go from, we did the cable, so now we go do Turkish Lira. But if anybody has anything they'd like to see, just shout it out. We'll jump right to it. All right, from there we go to the Turkish Lira. We have this rhythm. We do all these particular things, but there's nothing stopping us from deviating. I love to deviate. So there's Turkish Lira. Let's just take a look at it on the Euro Turkish Lira today, since we've been chewing through everything. And you can see here it's turned up. Now yesterday, let's put it in there. There it is. You can see the white line is piercing up. Now over on Chicago Quant, where are you? Turkish Lira. There's Turkish Lira right there. As you can see there, it's playing this big rectangle is a range we established about 3 months ago, and going on a 4th month now. And you can see we went into a daily buy yesterday right there. We lifted up, but look at it. It's trying to roll over. So I'm not totally convinced that there's anything really going on there. There we are. And so that's the action we're seeing at the moment with that. And again, traders, if you see something you want to talk about, just fire it out. We will talk about it. Oh, there you go. JJ says Bollinger Bands flat. On a daily? Is that what it is? On a daily? We can show you. Our math is ahead of Bollinger Bands. And as a matter of fact, we use the cable as an example. Let me just show you that. That's why notice that all our bands on our gas lines are golden. They're a mirror image like a Bollinger Band. Same thing here on the daily, same as the weekly. We call these our nonlinear time manifolds, something we invented mathematically. All right, now here's cable. We use this as an example. I'm just going to give it a quick spin to show you. Okay, this is a Bollinger Band up top. And what we're going to do is we're going to shrink this down like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to widen it out. And so, let's see now, if we tighten it up, you'll be able to get a full picture of it. There we are. Okay, now, and then down below, now this is a Bollinger Band on, don't mean to move that. This is a Bollinger Band on a daily, right? You can see that. And